defending on the far post. I think it was Ryan Fredericks that got the header in, Jimmy. He did really well because there was two players on that far post.
Here's Pulisic again. Kovacic. Taking on Bowen. Pulisic. Chelsea maintaining possession here. Forcing the Hammers back. Fornals in the right place. In conjunction with Bowen to get the ball away. Antonio ever willing to put the pressure on Rudiger.
There's the clearance again, and there's 40 yards between Antonio and the furthest midfield player, who was Fornals on that occasion. Even when clearing the ball, you've got to move up quickly. Get yourself out of those deep situations.
It's Fornals who's come into the more central position. Lanzini operating as a more conventional left-sided midfielder at the moment. First one across the cover. Rice able to bring the ball away. Antonio, an excellent play from him. Souček. Now Bowen. Kovacic coming back and doing what he does so well.
He did do well, but that was weak stuff from Bowen. Fredericks on the overlap, went on the outside, could have put him in, delayed it, and then easily got shrugged off the ball by Kovacic. He's got to be stronger than that.
Barkley. West Ham again, happy to defend very narrowly. And as a consequence, when Azpilicueta or Marcos Alonso spread into wide positions, they always have the space to utilise. Good ball in. Little flick from Abraham. Willian able to keep it alive. It's Declan Rice with the clearance, which hit Conte, but West Ham made the most of a lucky bounce and are able to get it away, but then give it away. And back it will come again.
That's where you've got to be brave in possession. Fornals and Lanzini have got to run the ball out. They've got to keep possession of the ball. Be brave. Take a risk. Otherwise, Antonio gets isolated. When they get the ball, they've got to really have a couple of touches on it. And don't be too keen to release it.
Kovacic just steering it away from Antonio. Souček mopping up. Run back well by Christensen. Willian. Clever movement from Conte. And decent delivery as well with Pulisic the target. Kovacic. There's a quality about Chelsea's pressure in the first 20 minutes. Antonio, the ever-willing outball, taking on Christensen. Claiming that he was fouled, but the referee, far from convinced, allows play to go on.
Good chase, wasn't it? I just sensed that Antonio was tiring there. He's made a few lung-busting runs already, and just those 40, 50-yard runs are going to be difficult for him all evening. But Christensen just had his match there for the pace.
Alonso. Barkley.
A good turn. That's where Frank Lampard, I think, will try and get Ross Barkley in those positions when he can fire away with his right and left foot. Easy one. Easy take for Fabianski because it didn't touch the ground. It's comfortable height, but Barkley's got a decent strike on him. 5-10 yards out that area. We've seen him score many a goal. And that's where Frank will want him, in the pockets. Abraham driving defenders deep. He gets in the pockets, twists, gets his shots away.
Well, Chelsea have scored 2 or more goals in each of the last 5 league games. It's 6 years since they netted at least twice in 6 successive matches. He also found the net in all 19 away matches in all competitions since the opening weekend, with the exception of a trip to Newcastle. Signs are that the opening goal might not be too far away here. Abraham for Pulisic. Great chance. Couldn't hit the target.
Well, he done everything right, but hit the target there, Jim, because it was a great effort, isn't it? Good switch of play from Rudiger. They get free on that right-hand side, and then it immediately comes back. Lovely little dummy from Abraham, and he tries to curl it for that far corner. He's inches wide, really. Look, that's the type of finish you wanted, and that's why he's aghast, because he thought that was in.
American international has scored in each of the last 2 league games. Slightly up and down first season in English football, but when he has been 100% fit and on the up, he's been very impressive indeed.
Well, if you have a look at all their wide players, Hudson-Odoi, Willian, Pedro, you would fancy Pulisic to be the top scorer out of all of those, because he loves scoring goals. He loves getting in the position of being the extra striker, arriving on that far post as he did there. He loves getting in those situations where he's got to get his shots away. A little bit more direct than all the other wingers or the wide players that I was talking about, Jim, and that's why he'll score more goals for me.
Well, he has in fact scored more goals than anybody else aged 21 or younger in the Premier League this season. Involved again there with Souček. Abraham showing the desire to get there. Bonner made sure that he stayed between Abraham and the ball, crucially in a position to clear.
Talking about shouldn't have been in that position in the first place. Diop and Bonner left it for each other, and in the end Bonner just makes amends for his mistake, and his partner alongside him. Got to be far more decisive. There's 2 against 1. One has got to commit himself.
Souček with the clearance. Straight for Kante. Rudiger. Pulisic. Alonso. Seen plenty of the ball in the first quarter of this game. Rudiger for Christensen. Kovacic. He was able to pick up the ball after that. A bit of pinball in the midfield. And Bowen just trying to release Antonio. So just not quite on the same wavelength for a moment there, and then Antonio ran out of room as he tried to turn the ball away. And Bowen just trying to release Antonio. So just not quite on the same wavelength for a moment there, and then Antonio ran out of room as he tried to turn the ball away in past Christensen.
Well, that was a shame, because he did really well, Antonio, in the first place, but the Pulisic chance just before that, well, the Antonio chance, I'm sorry, where he dragged it wide, that was an excellent chance. Just got to strike it cleanly, kind of drags it. Here's Pulisic at the other end, curling for that corner, and missing by, what, a foot?
Midway through the first half, the players taking a cooling break, and still no score. Position this time. Cresswell. Bring up, you would imagine, one of the happier of the 2 managers at the moment. And it was Alonso with the header away. Now Fredericks. A little bit more bite and intensity about West Ham since the cooling break. Back from Bowen.
Just fizzled out now. They had an excellent opportunity. Lanzini went right to Antonio. I think Lanzini's got to drive from that position, maybe get a shot, or delay.
Here's Alonso. Abraham turning it infield for Pulisic, but Souček was there first. Now Lanzini. Antonio peeling away into a wider position this time. Cresswell, hero of the hour when these two last met. Couldn't find Bowen then. It was Alonso with the header away. Now Fredericks. A little bit more bite and intensity about West Ham since the cooling break. Back from Bowen.
Just fizzled out now. They had an excellent opportunity. Lanzini went wide to Antonio. At that last for the defender before releasing Antonio, then he's in on goal. The defender decides to let him shoot. He can have a clear shot, of course, but just didn't either. Wasn't positive enough.
Cresswell with the throw. Chelsea winning the second ball, and they've done that on a regular occasion. Regular occasions throughout the game so far. A touch from Christensen. A little bit of concern, we understand, on the Chelsea bench about Christensen, who has been carrying this hip problem, which ruled him out of the cup success at Leicester at the weekend. Chelsea have the free kick here. Declan Rice not happy.
Just trying to have a
Rice. Aerial targets for Willian to try and hit here. It was Ryan Fredericks that defended it. Back from Kovacic. Alonso into a dangerous area.
Just trying to isolate Alonso on that far post on the free kick. Maybe get him up against Fredericks, but that's twice Fredericks has been aware and defended really well.
Very much the senior right back at West Ham now, after Pablo Zabaleta and Jeremy Ngakia left the club. Well, Frank Lampard will certainly be happy with what he's seen so far than he was at this stage of the weekend. He described that first half display against Leicester in the Cup as the worst performance since he took charge. Harsh words at half-time, followed by a treble substitution ahead of the resumption, and the response was immediate. Not the first time that those on the bench have made a major impact in turning a game Chelsea's way.
I just sense today, or this evening, sorry, that Kovacic and Barkley just haven't done enough in front of Conte. That's the position that I think really Chelsea have got to concentrate on. Those midfield players are going to drive from the pocket. Barkley and Kovacic haven't really done a lot this evening, not really stretched West Ham in that respect. The threat's coming more from Willian, I would say, and Alonso on this left-hand side when they get into the dead ball lines.
Here is Kovacic with an incisive pass. Excellent defending from Fredericks. And playing it into Abraham for a goal kick.
He gained the ground, he had to make the tackle. Managed to do that, came off of Abraham's leg for a goal kick. Good covering.
Abraham getting the nod in the starting lineup for the first time since February the 1st. Had an ankle injury before the rest period we had. Olivier Giroud started those games, and then the first two league games back. Here is Kovacic.
Inside, and quite sure whether he intended to do it that much, but that was a pretty poor challenge.
Excellent crisp passing from Chelsea, playing their way around that West Ham midfield. It's Pulisic. Barkley. Unable to work the angle. It was a good block from Diop.
That's where you just want a little bit of something there from Ross Barkley. I know it was a tight situation. I know he didn't have a lot of time to think and he had to move his feet quick, but he just didn't see that. There was a little run just inside, just a little dink there. But sometimes Ross Barkley, I think, who's playing in there for Chelsea, just has a couple of touches too many and kind of slows it down in there. Doesn't quite sort of come to terms with the Chelsea style of play where you move the ball quickly. I think he's a fine player. Got a great strike on him. Really good at supporting attackers. But just got to find how to get the best out of him.
He scored the winning goal, of course, at Leicester. It's his third in 4 FA Cup games this season, but he hasn't found the net in a Premier League match since October 2018. Well, Bonner looking long for Antonio. And who's done well to bring Fornals into the game. Bowen. Fredericks wanted the ball to be played early. Let's take it a slightly more conservative route as the ball went back for Bowen, who was then pulled down by Alonso.
Yeah, I think he went down the back of his leg there, but he was better. That was better from Bowen. Options weren't really on, so he's really brave in holding on to the ball. But you see there, look, down the back of the Achilles. That's a painful one. Alonso was done for a bit of pace there as he came inside, and I'm not quite sure whether he intended to do it that much, but that was a pretty poor challenge. But that shouldn't perturb Bowen from getting at him the next time. Really try and get at him, come on the inside where he doesn't favour.
Not the first time that he's played against Chelsea this season. He was in the Hull team that Chelsea beat in the FA Cup back in January. West Ham have their first corner after Lanzini's free kick. It's dealt with by Tammy Abraham.
Yeah, good defending, Tammy Abraham. He's annoyed that he put it away for a corner, but he just didn't get his head around that to get it back up the pitch. But he put himself in a good position in the space there just to get that header in. Interesting to see what West Ham try and do with this one. They've got some height in the side. Ogbonna, Diop, Declan Rice, Antonio, all good in the air. Souček as well. Chelsea will have to tie down well.
Souček trying to steal a yard of space. The corner will be delayed because Martin Atkinson wants a word with the main perpetrators of the pushing and shoving.
When you're looking at Azpilicueta, really, look, he's not looking at the ball. He's not looking at the ball and he's trying to defend. Now, I can't believe that. That is a foul straight away, Jim. That is a foul. Really, he's got to watch himself here, Azpilicueta. He's getting involved stupidly here. Why he's trying to get in the middle of the players, he should just give himself a little bit of room, get on the half turn, he can attack the ball. Look at the ball, look at the player. But what he's trying to do here, he's wrestling already.
Well, he's had his warning. Once the ball has been kicked, if he continues to do it, the referee may well give a penalty. The near post flick causes problems and West Ham score. Souček, who scored against Chelsea in Europe last season, scores against them in the Premier League. And that is absolutely priceless for West Ham United.
Well, you've got to say Chelsea made their own problems there. It really made them anxious the way they were trying to defend the corner. Azpilicueta guilty, was causing all kinds of indecision, and in the end they don't get the clearance. In-swinging ball, little touch on there, and Souček, he got a little touch for an OG against Spurs, but what an important touch this is to open the scoring against Chelsea, who didn't defend their lines really well there. They get in an awful tangle, and you have to say it started from the jostling about just before that made them all unsettled, Jim.
Well, Michail Antonio was lying stricken in front of Kepa Arrizabalaga, who immediately appealed that he was interfering with play and that he was in an offside position. And that is what the VAR Jonathan Moss is just having a look at. And Souček had done really well to dig the ball past Antonio. But was he in an offside position here?
Well, you can see the ball dropping there, Jim, and yeah, and he's in and around it, isn't it? But I wouldn't say he's actually mastered his view because he's on the floor.
Is he stopping Azpilicueta getting to the ball? The positioning of Antonio's legs stopping Azpilicueta, because if they are, then he is interfering with play, and I think that must be the decision that the fourth official is on the VAR is trying to ascertain.
That looks okay by me, Jim. It looks okay. I mean, how he can get out the way, I don't know. Maybe you'll say he is impeding him, but it's a very, very difficult one to disallow that goal, I would say. And if you're looking at the offside positions, well, maybe, look, is his torso offside, or is
his head? I mean, if they decide that he's interfering with play, he's offside because his head is between Alonso and the goal, I would suggest. If he touches Antonio on the way through, it will have to be disallowed.
I think the only way we'll see that is just from behind, Jim, but it looks like it was a prod from Souček and it went in. It's a surreal situation in this stadium. It's quiet enough as it is, but every one of the players are silent as well. Both benches are silent, all waiting for this decision.
Fair to say the margins here are pretty fine.
Well, saying it's Souček's knee, Jim, as he struck the ball. Was it offside? Oh, it is so tight. Would be a harsh one to disallow. We're having a look at Souček's knee, Jim. Look, because he's had to go back to hit the ball, so the standing foot may have just been a fraction. Is it a fraction offside from Alonso?
Well, the goal isn't going to count. I think Martin Atkinson is going to make the signal, but it is a free kick for offside. As we understand it, it was Antonio who was the player that was given offside. So it's still 0-0.
Well, that is the merest of margins, and particularly harsh when you're right down at the bottom of the league as well.
3.5 minutes they deliberated for. But it stays 0-0.
If it takes 3.5 minutes, Jim, it's not that obvious, is it? Sometimes the rules are confounded.
Conte. Now Barkley. Willian. Alonso's ball in.
Dice que están viendo el partido.
I was going to say, you know what happens now, but the script was not quite written, as Pulisic got that header wide. Good ball in from Alonso, and again Pulisic making up that extra man, came in off the flank and got in between defenders.
Well, that is the offside line. Michail Antonio judged to have touched the ball as it came through whilst he was in that position, and as a consequence the goal doesn't stand. Souček helping it forward. Rudiger able to turn the ball away from Bowen very neatly. Souček thought that he scored his first goal for West Ham. He had an excellent performance against Chelsea in the Europa League quarter-finals last.
Just that physicality that he's brought to the team.
Here's Pulisic. Fredericks able to get the ball away. Antonio battling with Conte. Gets the better of him. Kovacic. Pulisic.
Oh.
Penalty. Clever movement from Pulisic inside the penalty area. And Diop committed himself. And minutes after West Ham thought they were ahead, Chelsea will have the opportunity to score the first goal of the night from the spot.
Well, it was a clear penalty for me. I called it straight away. As soon as Pulisic went inside, out came the leg. And Diop, really, that's poor defending. He's not on his toes. He's not showing one way or the other. It gets squared up, and the last thing you do is dangle a leg out there. You cannot dangle a leg. Nowhere near the ball. Poor defending. He's given away a penalty. And it had to be, Jim, after that goal, which I think should have been a goal. That had to be.
So Willian with the opportunity to do against West Ham what he did against Manchester City last Thursday. Lucas Fabianski has a decent record in saving penalties. Can't stop this one. And it's Chelsea that lead the London derby. Another big moment at both ends of the table.
Well, massive minutes in a game, and he's not had the rub of the green lately, David Moyes, with these VAR decisions. The handball against Spurs, you can remember Declan Rice earlier on in the season, and in that one being disallowed, but you can't say that was a bad penalty. That was a good penalty from Willian. Very positive in his approach. Clear penalty as well on Pulisic, foul by Diop. And West Ham feel a little bit aggrieved going into the break.
His third goal in his last 4 Premier League games. It's Chelsea that have the advantage as West London meets East. As the West Londoners on the front foot again here with Willian finding Pulisic. Hammers able to double up on him this time.
What I can't understand about the decision, Jim, about the other decision, the disallowed goal, if it takes 3.5 minutes, it's... that, Jim, but it was like minutiae, like what we're saying, but there was no touch on it, and it's so frustrating. If you're a player, that is so frustrating. I understand the letter of the law, I understand everything about it, but it's so frustrating.
Kepa Arrizabalaga immediately put his arm up to appeal, but there weren't any really other discernible appeals from the Chelsea players.
No, and that's quite clear, isn't it? But look, it's done. They've got to get on with it.
Here's Abraham. And towards Willian, who just couldn't quite scoop it into his stride. Now Kovacic. Back from Barkley. Rudiger.
What, of course, you can't excuse is the challenge from Diop, which was a poor challenge. That's when you know as a player that you've all really got to knuckle down and just get to that break in that position and not give anything away after, well, you think you've been unjustly treated, but certainly that's made it really difficult for West Ham now.
It means the Hammers haven't kept a clean sheet in 12 successive league games now, which is their worst run for more than a decade. Bournemouth, the last team that they shut out, that was back on New Year's Day. A victory that could yet prove to be very crucial. These two sides separated by a goal difference alone at the moment. Dotted line in the table in between them. Hammers' goal difference currently 4 better than that of Bournemouth and Villa beneath them. Here's Pulisic. Fredericks doing well, going shoulder to shoulder, winning it cleanly where there was no margin for error. Here's Barkley. Kovacic. Well, resilience hasn't been one of the Hammers' long suits this season. Every match in which they've conceded first, they have lost. 15 out of 15, and going back into last season, it's now 22 defeats in a row in the league and cup when they've gone 1-0 down. And that's what they have to try and rectify tonight as we go into 3 minutes of stoppage time at the end of the first half.
Well, when you're not scoring many goals, Jim, and you go down one down to a top team, then you all start looking at each other thinking we've got to get to it to get this win. It's so difficult. Your whole game is designed to be tight, maybe...
Declan Rice, the West Ham captain today for the second time in the absence of Mark Noble. Staying with the referee Atkinson whilst Michail Antonio is being spoken to. Fornals. Now he's been able to release Antonio here. Rudiger doing well to get back goal side. Corner.
Well, we've got another corner kick situation. It'd be interesting. We'll all be looking at Azpilicueta, how he's going to defend, and but he calls all that uncertainty in the disallowed goal, the way he was defending in that one, Jim. I think that they'll want to be more concentrated and a little bit cooler heads in this Chelsea defence, the way they defend this one. And Bowen, I think, will be going for that same kind of flat cross.
Two centre-halves and Souček all waiting for it, and it's another good ball in, and again it goes in. Souček does it again. This time it will stand, and it is 1-1 going in at half-time.
Well, they maybe think that justice has been given now, and Azpilicueta has been defending poorly from these set pieces, and Souček maybe gets his just rewards. Good flat corner, as we said before, far post, gets up highest. Oh, and there's maybe one of the keeper and the guy on the line maybe could have got to that one, but West Ham ahead. Souček got up really well, but look at Azpilicueta again, not defending right, not really watching the ball, and by the time he reacts and tries to get off the floor, Souček's above him. Poor defending again.
And Thomas Souček, 11 minutes earlier than previously advertised, has finally broken his West Ham United account.
At first you don't succeed. But Chelsea again look being very susceptible to a set piece. Just looking a bit panicky around there.
Well, in keeping with West Ham's situation down at the...
What an emotional roller coaster for West Ham, their fans, and Tomas Souček. He thought he had the opening goal. It was taken away. Chelsea scored, and then he gets the equalizer. Break it all down right after this.
you're breaking it down. It falls to the ground. 'Cause I had lost what you just found. The noise all around, I'm drowning it out. Like we're the only ones in the crowd. 'Cause you save me now, save me now, save me now, save me now, save me
pushing my limits and all the drive that I have. Well, I'm going the distance with you. I didn't know what I had till I knew what was missing and everything